I couldn't feel the light, sir. Yes. You can't feel the light because you are light. How can fire feel fire? See, you must understand, we are taking all this approach of all these tattvas, be it sound or light or anything objectively. That is our first. Objective is not the goal. To become that or to realize I am that. So you might start with seeing light. Please understand, in the meditations and all those things where you see light, where you hear sound, where you perceive something objective, there are still two. Okay, those are very start kind of stuffs. There is still Dvait practice. So if you see light, we are not interested in that seeing light. So in the starting, okay, fine. You're seeing something, it's good. Seeing something only boosts the ego. It'll just say that okay, I'm having some experience, but that experience has got no value. On an Advaitic point of view, they are useless. Seeing light, hearing sounds, perceiving anything objectively, seeing colors, or seeing gods. In the start, yes. In the start, they are good motivators. It will keep you inspired. It will want you to have better connectivity. Because imagine you are sitting and you see someone of a higher order. So immediately you will feel very good connected, inspired. Your bhava will change. So those are only for that. But they cannot give you the completion experience. So many times I've talked about even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa having those experiences where he's seeing the mother. But seeing the mother kept him thirsty even till the end, until he became the mother. That is what we have to realize. Keep that always goal very crystal clear. Don't just be happy in seeing things. Okay. So seeing light is good if you're seeing in the start, because it's necessary to see something subtler because we see grossness. That's our habit. Now, as we become spiritual and more inwardly, we see subtleness. What is that subtleness? Light. So, whatever objects you are seeing right now, it has a subtle quality also. It is coming from sound and light only. The sound and vibration only is becoming matter. So, what you are seeing is matter, gross. Through your panchindriyas, you can only see that is gross. So, when you close your eyes and go beyond the senses, you will see the same things in the subtlest form. So, that's okay. That's like a promotion that you're having in your practices. But you shouldn't remain stuck there also. And it's not necessary that you have to see only to go beyond that until I see the light. No. We are simply doing all these exercises and practice. Why? Why that webinar of light was done? Activating the temple of light. Why that was done? That had no other objective but to take you closer to realizing that I am only that light. See how subtler these things become. When I say I am light, also, it's still not complete. I see light, I perceive light, that is a good stage. Because you are always seeing gross things. Now, a meditator closes the eyes and they see light advanced, then the gross. Now, seeing light, then becoming that light, being that light. But I feel I am light now. Is that complete? It is still not complete. Because there is something beyond light also. Light comes from somewhere, right? All your Sri Vidya Gyan, if you see, from nothingness, there was light and sound. From the nothingness, first came light, Jyoti Swarupa, and then the sound. Sound is Shakti, Sat and Chit traveling together. Sound and light is traveling together. And then as it becomes grosser, it starts taking forms. So that is how the Srishti is formed. Different vibrations, different dimensions. They're all formed. In the dimension, again, it becomes grosser. Then objects appear, things appear, mountains, seas, and all these things. They get objectified. So, what is a sea? What is a mountain? What is a stone? What is the wind? What is the fire? This is nothing but coming from nothingness only, from light, from nothingness, light, and then light as it becomes grosser, it takes shapes and forms. So, you reverse it, all the shapes and forms will become vibration. You reverse it further, intensify the frequency, and thin it further. That same vibration or sound becomes light. So, is light the end? No, because light came from nothingness. So, nothingness is the end. So, if you intensify and that light also, it will disappear into nothingness. That is called the Shunya, Maha Void, Chidakasha, whatever you call it. So, now my real Swarupa, Shivoham, is Chidakasha. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is why it says, I am not this, I am not that, I am none of these things. I am not the world, I am not the buddhi, I am not the ahankara, I am not the panchindriyas, I am not this body, I am not this ego, I am not that parent, I am not the child, I am not the guru, I am not the shishya. None of this. When all identities goes, what remains is Chidaka. Shivoham, Shivoham. Not even Prakasha. I am not even light. I am not even sound. So that is the highest state and the final state which we have in our objective goal. That's the final thing. Okay. So it is not about stopping anywhere below that. But we catch below that and go. Regular life, we see these objects. We close our eyes, then the objects only we start perceiving in our senses as vibrations. We become more aware of our vibrations. Then you become even subtler than your vibration. You experience light. You see light, you feel light, all that stuff. And then as you concentrate on that light, or as your awareness settles on that light, even that light disappears. And what remains is nothingness. This might look very complicated, it's not. We are just trying to logically put these into place. It's not a complication. Neither should you go by the philosophy. Oh, अब मुझे ज्ञान हो गया, मैं प्रकाश हूँ, प्रकाश के भी ये सब नहीं जाना. Whatever I told, try to experience it. नहीं तो हम ज्ञान बांटना शुरू कर देंगे immediately. I'm not this body. I am Shiva. I am not even the light. I am this Chidakasha. And experience it. Don't simply keep talking about it. That is what we did in day first today's this. What you experience only, you have the right to speak. If you don't experience, you have no right to talk, even if that is a teaching. Don't parrot it. I heard it from my guru. So what? Guru is experiencing it. That is why he is speaking. Are we experiencing it? Guru might say unconditional love. He might have. Do we have? So we should not go on projecting that, the only thing in life is what? So क्या है जिंदगी? It's a unconditional love है यार, कुछ नहीं है सर. अरे, are you radiating on that frequency to talk about it, boast about it? If you are not, you should keep quiet. You should become aware, I am not that unconditional love yet. So don't speak. You'll never find me talking about unconditional love because I'm not that. It is not in my direct experience at that moment. I won't speak about. In webinars, I might speak when I am in that state. So still we are in that ये blah blah हमको नहीं करना है. कोई भी teachings ये हम अभी light के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, nothing शून्य. We should never go without experiences on that. So whatever we are telling here, try to experience it. Don't try to intellectualize. It might look very nice, lucrative to intellectualize these things, but it's not worth it. Okay. So if I say about light, then you'll try to intellectualize that light. And now, because you have heard that something is light and this is light, you are projecting that. You can get stuck in that. You have to simply understand the simple concept of what we are trying to tell you. Oh, I am vibration. I don't feel vibration. I am told I am light, I don't feel it. I am told I am emptiness, nothingness, shunya, I don't feel it. You will not feel it. It will take time. If it was so easy to feel, then एक प्रवचन and everybody is enlightened. Wouldn't that happen? पूरा सारा दुनिया जहाँ इतने सारे गुरु हैं, you can see all the gurus whole life they are talking this. And how many shishas? Just by understanding it can become that. If just by understanding and intellectualizing these things it was easy to, then sunna kafi tha. No, it will take time. And depending on our own prakriti, our own nature, all these things will affect us. How much we can understand, how much we cannot, how much our obstacles are there. So you have to take your own time to understand that there is no objective that you have to rush. Because somebody saw light, there is no need that you have to see light. You might not see light. Some people might not see anything and still they might have Chirakasha experience. It happens. They go straight into the nothingness because it's not needed for them. So there is no generalized rule that you have to see light. What when I take the webinar about light, what I am trying to tell is that tattva of light, because light is very easy to perceive, it is very easy to hold, it is very easy to feel than Chidakasha. Chidakasha is a little difficult to feel, but light is easier because you can project always through your mind awareness. You can project light anywhere that you want. Any part you can project that light. You can activate that light tattva within you. So you take time. You take time about it. The end result should end you up in nothingness, in that void. Whether you see light, whether you see colors, whether you feel something, whether you hear something, whether you are vibratory on certain levels, not very important. I'm just using all this terminology because when I talk, there are multiple people. Some people might be experiencing light, some will experience something else. So I'm talking to multiple people. So you don't have to generalize everything for yourself. Many things are said here for multiple people. It is not just said for one person. So you must not say that everything is applicable. No, it will keep altering. Like I always say, it depends on what senses you are pushed. If your external senses are strong, usually in the five indriyas, one indriya will be very prominent, dominant. All of us. Some. Some are good at sight. Their eyesight is very sharp. Peripheral vision is very sharp. They can sit like this and see everything in very detailed kind of stuff. That happens. Possible, quite possible. But at the same time, some people are sharp at hearing. Their hearing capacity is very sharp. What your neighbor or your next person next to you might not hear, you might hear. Or what you are not hearing, that other person might hear. Something distant. They're sitting just silently, and 1 kilometer, a dog is barking very far, 1 kilometer away. You can hear it very silently. Means that person's this is very sharp. Some people touch is very sensitive. They're very, very sensitive to touch. Anything on your body you can very easily feel. Anything that your body is touching. That means your that indriya is powerful. The sparsha. Some people nose is very powerful. Smells, any kind of smell you can catch. Some people taste buds are very strong. So they are all predominant. They're all according to your prakriti, they change. So please don't categorize yourself into. You might be having any dominant. So all these dominant, predominant panchendriyas which are there, they have a subtle aspect also. So if you are very good in sight, such people will have visions very easily. If their sight is physical sight is dominant, they will close their eyes and they'll have meditational experiences. They will see a lot of things. They'll see visions, colors, light, blah blah blah. Why? Because that is pushed in them. That is very specific in them. Their sight. Some people will hear. This is called in medical terminology. This is called as visual hallucinations. So when I used to do this medical transcription work for US doctors, We used to get a lot of one department that I was looking into. I was looking into podiatry, and mostly I was into psychiatry. So psychiatrists, all kind of patients that come to a psychiatrist, we make general medical reports for them, right from the subjective and objective matter, their impressions and diagnosis, whatever, everything is done, and their lab tests and all those things. So based on their symptoms and the study and clinical research that is done on them, they come to a conclusion and a diagnosis that this person has this kind of problem. So it was very funny to see all these psychiatric reports. The rest of the things were okay. Other terminology is okay. But when it comes to psychiatry, we used to have something called visual hallucinations. The patient is a 51-year-old Caucasian female walking in and complaining of visual visions, complaining of visions. And then they will go with the investigation, blah, 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 this, that, and all. And finally, the doctor will condemn and conclude saying that diagnosis, she is suffering from visual hallucinations. Science term, उनका terminology हो. So this patient is seeing weird things, not in dreams, but while sitting. They have all these projections. Somebody's looking at them, somebody's smiling, and somebody's saying something, and somebody's doing all these kind of visions, or some divine angel coming, and this happening, that happening, and all that, and this is disturbing them. Sometimes they keep responding to it. You can see psychiatric patients. So then the diagnosis is made, visual hallucination, and then the treatment and plan. So the treatment plan is prescribed all kind of antipsychotic psychotic drugs. My God, this 50 milligrams so many days and full 1 month ka quota dal diya. Take these drugs. Then some. It is the patient is a 12-year-old female teenager in school walking in with botherations of hearing sounds. Patient hears sounds. Then they do all the diagnosis. And finally, the doctor concludes it is nothing but auditory hallucinations. First was visual hallucination, you're seeing things. Now, auditory, you are hearing things. So, in that, now the patient is um, hearing all kind of sounds. Somebody is talking to them. Somebody is asking them and giving them instructions: do this, don't do this. And the patient behaves in that manner. Sometimes they are ordered to do it, sometimes they are not. And sometimes they are given suggestions, sometimes they are provoked. Especially there are cases where there are self-harm, self-abuse. They say, voice in my head said me to do this. So some child picks up a gun and shoots the other, and then they say, somebody told me to do it. Auditory hallucination is what they, and they all say it is something to do with the brain. So some mis circuit happening there. So we treat the brain, and then a list of all psychotic drugs. So this is what we used to do day in and day out. So all kind of such diseases of the mind and body I've been through in my career of 12 years in this field. I was a trainer again, teaching people anatomy and these basic terminologies of all these things. That's what helped me when I came into the spiritual field. My guru put me with the doctors. He said, good, you have this experience. So I used to work with these doctors. Very easy to correlate with them, the spiritual aspect as well as the scientific aspects. But what I'm trying to say here is later on it made sense of all what is these hallucinations. So these are called as altered states of mind. They don't call even mind because the science doesn't go with mind. They say altered states of the brain. So they go with the chemicals and things that is doing the rounds with the brain. So they treat the brain. But in spirituality, when you come to know that there is something higher than the brain. There is something that influences the brain, and that's your mind. So science doesn't talk about mind. They talk about brain. For them, mind means brain. For us, mind and brain are two different things, can be completely opposite also. Mind is what? When you explore thoughts. So, mind is a big field there. What is that called? Terminology for mind, study of mind? Apart from psychiatry, there is something else. That field is now booming like anything because it's all about your mind that's going on. That's known as the study of mind. Psychology, clinical psychology, mind psychology, not neurology. Neurology is with the nerves. Neurology has got everything to do with your nervous system, the nerves. See this terminology. Don't get on my nerves. So such persons are neurotic. Nerves, neurotic. And see the word nerve, nervous. I'm nervous. Nerve. So if something gets on your nerves, you become nervous. See, this is all very deep. In spirituality, when you come, you understand there is subtle nerves also. Those are your nadis. So science has not reached till there. So they are investigating. So psychology is another booming career and field because it's all about your mind. People are trying to understand the mind and treating the mind and things like that. And if you go deep into the mind, it's very complicated subject. But if you enter spirituality, it's very simplified by Ramana. Ramana says mind is nothing but thoughts. There is no mind. It is a shocking thing to come to the end of your life and then realize that there is nothing called mind actually. Mind is just a name given to it. So those who have done Upadesh Saram, those who are very deep with Ramana's teachings will understand what I'm saying. There is actually nothing called mind. Bundle of thoughts only are called mind. Now, then the whole where the focus goes now, not chasing the mind. We are chasing the thoughts now. What is the thoughts and from where are they coming? And then there is a field of thoughts. That is another complicated subject. Thoughts more complicated than the mind because mind looks very easy. It is a container of thoughts. But if you go into the thoughts, they're so vivid. They're so complex in nature. So you can get more complicated when you go into the study of thoughts. But Ramana makes it very simple. By asking to find where the thoughts are born, why it is born. And we come to know because of aham vritti, the thoughts are born. So now what has happened? From the thoughts, the chase has gone towards ego. And ego, there is no advanced science or lower science or whatever which has come till the ego point. Nobody talks about it. At least mind and thoughts people are talking. 20 years back, that also was not there. But now nobody is talking about aham vritti, ego. But see spirituality, it's so deep. It's gone to the source. So Ramana simply says, don't be worried about your mind because mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. Don't be too chasing behind the thoughts because the originator is not the thought. Because of something, the thoughts are coming. What is that originator? Ego. So chase the ego because you will get to the root source of everything. And the funniest thing in Ramana Tattva is he says, chase the ego and it will disappear. Disappear where? Into nothingness. From nothingness, that ego comes. So he recommends the best and direct way. It is called the direct path. Ramana says this is the direct path of straight dissolving the ego. You dissolve the ego, thoughts vanish. Thoughts go in, there is no mind ka sawal hi nahi aata. And if mind is not there, nothing else matters. Neither there is Maya, neither there is karma, neither there is life, there is this and that, nothing sukha, dukha, nothing is there. The whole sukha, dukha is in the mind. Man hi karta, man hi bhokta. But what is the cause of mind? Thoughts. What is the cause of thoughts? Ego. What is the cause of that ego? That rise. That is where we investigate. Why do I rise and why do I settle? Why does Chiti rise from nothingness and why does it settle? Because of desires. So that is why we go to the root cause of understanding the science of desires. The science. See, it is so deep. All these things are so deep, but it's very simple. Spirituality just simplifies it. So doctors will never understand. There is no conclusion. Even when I was doing those files, there is no conclusion. I used to pity for all those, and most of it were like adolescents, childhood, adolescents, and teenagers department. Maximum all these cases were there before 18 years. And the kind of drugs that these kids are induced, even now, right now, heavily, nobody is trying to address these things from a very spiritual, because there is no spiritual side. They are only attacking the brain. All that they know is brain and the body. So medicines and surgeries and this are what? On the body only. Gross. So what I was trying to tell is hallucination. Auditory hallucination, visual hallucination. You see something that is known as hallucination. Because why hallucination means what? That which is not real. That which is not real is called hallucination. So the patient says, I see something which is not there. Visual hallucination. I hear something which is not there, does not exist. Hallucination. So what I'm simply trying to tell you is don't get hallucinated. Don't get simply hallucinated. Because if you get into hallucination, all your projections of your mind are hallucinations. How? Who told? Ramana has told so many times. When Papaji, his disciple, said that I see Lord Krishna, he was very proud. I have darshan of Lord Krishna every day. And he talks to me. And Ramana is not impressed. He's sitting silently. Then he tries to assert that. Then Ramana simply asks him, do you see him now? He says, not right now, but sometimes he comes and goes. Then Ramana simply one sutra he says, what comes will go. What comes and goes cannot be real. Means what? Hallucination. What comes and goes cannot be God, but is a projection of that God. So what comes and what goes cannot be real, cannot be infinite. Infinite means what? Everywhere and all the time there without birth and without death. But here we are telling there is a birth and death. What visual hallucination? It comes and it goes. Means aya, gaya. So he gives the definition of God. God is not that comes and goes. God is that which is ever present always. You have to realize that Shivoham, which is never being born, never died, but which eternally remained. And I am that. I means that's awareness part of me, this consciousness never was born, never died. So he says, catch that which never comes and never goes, which remains permanently eternal, for that is yourself and that is your God. इससे ज्यादा simplicity I have not heard in my whole life. And I don't think there is anything as simple as this compared to all the paths which struggle so much on the objective experiences. All the other paths you look, they are all projecting on the objectives. The whole focus is on the objective. They never focus on who's seeing or experiencing the objective. Are you getting it? Oh, Shiva Sutra lagao, dumbo bajao. I have an experience of shaking. I saw Shiva. So what? You saw, he came and he went. What further? If you saw God, then that should be a completion, but you're still incomplete because only when you see him, you're happy. When you don't see him, you're searching for him. Adhura hai. So, can we say that? When this God appears, I'm happy. When this God disappears, I'm sad. That is why you guys, when anything appears in front of you, you're happy and you're sad. When your guru appears in front of you, you're very happy. When he disappears, you're sad. Same syndrome, mental syndrome. Catching that which comes and goes, not wanting to go beyond and catch that which never came and never went. Simple. As simple as that, what I can say. Why I say you guys? Because I know many of you are still stuck in all those things, waiting for things to see, you perceive through your panchendriyas. And we are trying to tell here, what you are trying to perceive is beyond your panchendriyas. Go there where, from where you can become aware consciously what is beyond that panchendriya. But we are by habit wanting only experiences of the panchendriyas. So go beyond the five senses and the mind. From the mind only panchendriyas come. So going beyond the mind means what? Going beyond all your mental concepts. That's all. Itna samajh lo. What is mind? Full of thoughts. And that thought is all your concepts. Everything the mind has conceptualized. Everything. Whole spirituality is tukde karke all fragmented into that concepts. Everything is a concept. You see. You name it and you have a concept. So it is very difficult for us to go conceptless. And Chidakasha is conceptlessness. Yoga Vasishtha talks about it. Vasishtha Mahamuni taught Ram how to become conceptless. Study the Yoga Vasishtha, you will understand. The whole training is given to destroy all the concepts of the mind. And what is Devi Kadalotra saying? Shiva is saying the same, right? Throw all your concepts of gods and deities and dimensions and chakras and this and that. Now that's not for everybody. Okay. It might not be for everybody here also. So don't attempt it if you are scared. If not, mind has not become very subtle where you can perceive what Shiva is trying to tell. So those whose minds have not become so subtle, you can catch that which you can perceive. No problem. Catch the Shivalinga, catch your yantras, catch your mantras. There is no harm in it. Like say yesterday somebody said, I love doing the puja. I love this. It's fine. Wherever your state of evolution, you do that. But there is something beyond it. That's what I'm trying to say. We must go beyond these indriyas, experiences of the indriyas and experiences of the mind. Seeing light, seeing this and that is the experience of the mind. Go beyond it. If you don't see it, don't be disheartened because that is not the objective to see light, to see God. Here, there is no objective of seeing God. I will never motivate you to see something, hear something. And those who keep telling me, I saw this, I heard this, I care a damn. Because that's not where we are trying to settle. You see it, you be happy with it. Okay, be inspired with it, go. But don't expect me to be motivating you and say, go, keep seeing more. I'll just simply say, get out with that nonsense. So that might hurt somebody because that's your concept. Your concepts are very interesting. That God is this, God is that. So why does in Devi Kalutra, why does Shiva say, give up all your meditations on your chakras? Because at a certain level, chakra is a concept, not for everybody again. Those who are still deeply in the mind and you are trying to catch spirituality, chakras are very good. Okay. Chakras are very good support system. You can cleanse them, you can do all those things, and those things will happen at that level because you have a subtle body, and those subtle bodies also purification can happen. Like the gross body purification, subtle body purification also happens. They are good. But if you're somebody who has transcended the mind, you'll not need it. You'll absolutely not need it. So those who need the mind, please do your chakra practices. Please do your mantra japa. Please do your puja yagya. Absolutely without any guilt. Eventually, you will be let out of it. And the time comes. Automatically, it will happen. You need not worry about anything there. Cool. You know. So here again, if you're craving for a mental experience, you can crave. That's not a problem. You want to see light, experience, but don't remain stuck with it. And if you are not getting into it, don't invite those things. Don't invite, I don't see any gods. That is why Shiva says, give up your meditation on Kundalini and your chakras, especially the deity sitting in those chakras. What does he mean by that? Including Vinayaka, he says in the Muladhara. Ganapati, the Muladhara. He says, give up all your chakra meditation, including the God sitting there. Because those are concepts after a certain point. Starting, you need it. Starting, you need a good grip of it. But beyond that, it is concept. Why it is a concept? It is a concept because we have not understood the science of deities, Devi Devata. If you don't understand the science of Devi Devata, you will become a blind Andhabhakta, just following it out of some greed or fear. I want to connect to this deity because I am greedy for something or I fear something. That's all. Any of these two things can happen. So the moment you go beyond your greed and fear, you are now ready to investigate. You become a seeker. You seek for the truths. So you want to investigate what is the tattva of Ganapati? What are all these Devi Devatas sitting there? What are these petals, first of all? What are these lotuses, first of all? And why every organ also has a Devi Devata? There is a stomach Devata, there is a heart Devata. Because if you see in deep Vedic sciences, everything is associated with a god. You have Indra, you have the Varuna, you have the fire god, you have the rain god, you have the Prithvi god. Have you seen this? What they have done is, please understand this clearly. Everything is a vibration. The first vibration, the Pranam mantra which came, Omkar, that is the highest form of vibration, purest form. Then it becomes grosser and grosser. And as it becomes grosser, it takes different shapes and forms. So that you can call it as Shakti, Mahashakti. So that vibration, which is at the purest and highest level, has been given a name called Ma or Shakti. That's all. What is it really? It's a conscious vibration, purest form. Now you name it Ma. So when a step down of that vibration happens, it splits into multiple different small other vibration. Those splits you go on naming again. You call it Lakshmi, you call it Saraswati, you call it Kali. Because depending on their vibration, they have these properties. One has the property of abundance and sustenance, one has the property of wisdom, the other has the property of power and destruction. That is your three Shakti, which is there. You have given names to it. It's actually a vibrational frequency. Further you go down, it will keep on expanding into innumerable. There is no end to this distribution of energies that takes place. So from this Chiti only, from this Divine Mother only, everything comes out, manifests in different vibrations. That is why you say everything is coming from Mother, the Divine Mother, Prakriti. So if it is coming from the Divine Mother, now we call all those vibration coming from the Divine Mother as our children because it's coming from the Mother. So the concept of Mother here is that higher frequency. The concept of mother is nothing but that purest form of frequency, and that is why you call her the universal mother. Please understand this much. And then, as they diversify into plus and minus, good energy is bad energy, good vibration, bad vibration, they take different forms. So the Asura also is formed from that Chitti Shakti only, and the Devata Ganas also are formed from the same Chitti Shakti. Vibrational frequencies are different. So when it becomes too gross, you call that negative and you call it devilish. And when they are positive, they are called as gods. So depending on which vibration you go into, that kind of experiences you have. You go into positive, you have positive experiences, and you go into negative, you have negative experiences. So in deeper terms, it is all nothing but the Chitti itself experiencing herself in the plus and in the minus. She is experiencing herself as the Rakshasas, she is experiencing herself as the Devatas. Simple. Same energy, vibrations are different. Now, what we have done is we have given names to all those. Are you getting it? They're only named. Similarly, in your subtle bodies, different energies take place in your every chakra. Every chakra has a certain frequency because out of that frequency only, all these objects are made, gross forms are made. This is a different vibration, eye is a different vibration, heart is a different vibration, lung is a different vibration, kidneys are a different vibration. Vibrational frequencies are different. That is why you see when healing is nothing but restoring the original frequency of that particular organ. So whatever frequency the particular organ is resonating on, if you revert back to that original state of vibrancy, it is called as healthy. If something is at certain hertz or megahertz and it changes from there, from the normalcy, it is called disease. That's all. So your pancreas are supposed to be at a certain frequency. If it is hyper, it is called hyperglycemia, blood sugar. If it is lower, it is called hypoglycemia. That's all. Your blood pressure, hypo and hyper there. Hypertension, it is called. Hypertension means high blood pressure. Hypotension means low blood pressure. In between, this is the normalcy. So whenever we fluctuate our energies high, we go towards higher, or we fluctuate lower, we go towards lower. Higher and lower is disease. Neutrality is health, is normalcy. So everything that is created in this universe has a neutrality. That neutrality is known as God frequency. Are you getting it? Everything has a certain normal, perfect, divine frequency. So whatever you look at organs, you're trying to restore it to normal, means God frequency. So those who did this last Sunday's webinar, we talked more on this. What is my highest and truest and most natural state of vibrancy? Unconditional love. A unconditional love is the normalcy. You add or deduct anything from it, up or low, more or less, it deviates from that nature. So whenever you deviate from that nature, we are known to have emotions other than unconditional love. Whereas if you reverse back to the original state of vibrancy, the truest and godly vibration is nothing but only unconditional love. It's a frequency of unconditional love where there cannot be hate, fear, doubt, guilt, etc., etc., etc. Nothing is there. Where unconditional love moves from its normalcy, all the other things starts coming up: fear, doubt, guilt, hatred, revenge, selfishness. That is what we did on Sunday. So we were saying, I told, if we have the capacity, we can go into that and check it out subjectively. You simply tune your frequency to that unconditional love, and there is no need to forgive anybody. There is no need to accept anybody. There is no need to change anybody. Nothing to do. There is not. There is no need to forgive anybody. There is nothing called karmic debt. What is karmic debt? When you move away from unconditional love. Simple, yeah. If you are in the perfect state of unconditional love, can there be karma? Think about it. Karma happens only when you move out of that unconditional love state. Any other emotion creates karma. Simple. One anger is enough, it will create karma dosha and karma bandhana. From unconditional love point of view, nobody can create karma bandhana. जिसको नींद आ रहा है आप सो जाइए, आराम से सो जाइए, घुटन करके मत बैठिएगा. Don't suppress yourself and say, take good rest and take the recording. Don't sit forcing yourself. So anything you move away from unconditional love creates any other emotion, and any other emotion will create karma straight. So if you ask me, Shiva Sutras, when we say Anamala, Maya Mala, and Karma Mala. Karma Mala, why karma is happening? Because of Maya. Why Maya is happening? Because of Anamala. Anamala is what? Anamala is moving away from the normalcy of unconditional. If anybody is vibrating at the level of only unconditional love, there is no Anamala. So, because the Aham cannot come up where there is unconditional. That unconditional love state is pure Shiva consciousness. That is why we say God is unconditional. Now you get it? But how do we say? Oh, Shiva is unconditional. Means you think he's sitting on the Kailasha and somebody is very unconditionally sitting there and loving you. I love you, my child. There is no personality anywhere. It is a vibrational frequency of unconditional love, and that frequency only you name it as Shiva. If you simply ask me to strip off the concept, this is how it is. Behind all that name and form, there is a vibration, frequency. We are all frequencies. So when you strip out all the concepts only, you will find Chidakasha. Otherwise, you will not. You have one concept, you cannot have Chidakasha. Chidakasha means emptiness, nothingness. One concept will put some color to that nothingness. One concept also. See, you're saying nothingness. And then in that nothingness, you simply have one thought of Shiva. Now, when you have one thought of Shiva, an image appears in your head. Can that be nothingness? No, there is somethingness. That is how deep the subject is. Even one thought. That is why in Sarvagyanatra, Shiva says, one thought will take you away from me. However divine that thought is. Take you away from me means that Chidakasha, Shunya. You will be shaken out of that Shunya. Because one thought appears and you see it, there is a seer and there is that which is seen. Dvayat ho gaya. Immediately Dvayat ho gaya. Dvayat mein you cannot experience Shivoham. Simple state. So what I'm trying to say here is everything is a vibrational frequency. Those frequency only take different forms and different names given by human beings. Now God has defined all these things. Human beings. That is why I asked in that Sunday webinar, karmic debts. Where did this word come from? Karmic debt. How old it is? Research. You think it is from Vedic times? Karmic debts. Check it out. Your Vedas never talk about it. So anything that came after Vedas, we can conclude it is human mind intervention. It is a description of the human mind. Anything after Vedas and Upanishads, it's all human mind interaction. So what you follow actually is not God, but humanly created gods. That is why somebody said, I think Carl Jung, actual theory is what? Philosophy is what? God created man. But here I am telling you, man has created God. We have created gods according to different. We means our ancestors only, because in an attempt to define that God, this sin was created. This whole chaos was created in an attempt to just describe. Because this vibrational frequency, how are you going to tell? Unconditional love. It is a frequency. If you ask me, this unconditional love is a name given by us to describe that frequency. But the moment you put that name, you can see the chaos it has caused, the confusions it has caused. All your definition, 1,000 people, 1,000 different definitions of unconditional. This is what this mind can create. Somebody created to define it, and today what are we sitting? So same way you see all your gods. Somebody created to define a frequency, and today what are you doing with those frequencies? Just check it out. Till the horrid forms of superstition has gone. Still, where has the mind taken us down? Far away from those truths. You can see how far we are from that. So, on this practice here on these platforms of just shifting into awareness, we are only talking of being aware of that pure awareness. We are using only awareness of one. Because that consciousness which is there, if you have to understand that consciousness, you need high developed awareness. If it is not developed awareness, it cannot understand the subtleness. Then it will only understand through forms and concepts. That is why Shiva told Parvati, I have only given them the concepts to Mandabuddhi, Bhranta Buddhi, because they are not capable to understand my true form of formlessness. So I had to give them concepts of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Ardhanareshwara, Ardhachandra, Pranava, so many forms. So many forms of Shiva, so many forms of Shakti. I had to give them because they cannot understand at that level that I am formless. Shiva says in Shiva Sutras. To whom he's telling? To only those who have developed their intellect, gone beyond their intellect, and now they are searching for the ultimate truth. They are not happy with these truths of this is our God, this is that God. This is all ego based truths. All fighting for their gods, defensive of their own gods. You can see you create identities with those gods. And then you say, this is my God. And then others say, this is my God. Their interpretation of God, your interpretation. And you both fight. Trying to prove my God is this. And what is on the higher level? Both are come from your own mind as a projection of that higher frequency. You're trying to project the same frequency in your own way. So the way you see God, you project it, and that becomes a religion. Somebody else sees gods, perceives gods in a certain way according to their mental tendencies, and that becomes another religion. So, what you follow as religion is following somebody's tendencies. Please understand. It is not beyond the tendencies. And what does your Shastra says? Guna tita. Go beyond the tendencies, beyond the three gunas. Go beyond the mind. And you see, all these are mind games. That is why Shiva says, give up all your meditation. In the highest scripture, this is for only advanced seekers, that he says, now since you're ready to understand the Chidakasha, the me, the Kala Bhairava, Kala Jnana I'm giving you, he says, the science of Kala. Kala means beyond even time. Kala actually is denotation of the time only. But we are talking here what lies beyond. When we say Kala Bhairava, the Bhairava actually tells you what is beyond the Kala, beyond time. That is why we say in that space there is no time. When time doesn't exist, who shows you that? Kala Bhairava. But what is our definition of Kala Bhairava? I'm asking you. We have given him so many forms, fantasies, and so many kind of dressings done to it, ornamental, and so many beliefs have come out of it, so many superstitions have come out of it, so many rituals have come out of it, so many practices have come out of it, so many ways have come out of it, so many images have come out of it. Kala Bhairav. And what does he mean? This the one who puts an end to your sound is Bhairava. And the one means what? He's not that form that you're projecting in that image, that he comes in that form. That is again to describe that tendency which is so ferocious. Means until you have a ferocious awareness, means depth of that awareness, until you have that vigilant, strong, focused, aware, that focused, strong awareness which is ruthless, it will simply kill all your concepts. It doesn't bother about this is divine, that is divine, this concept, this God. It will simply kill everything. That is why all these gods, which have the tendency to break all your mental patterns, have Ugra form. Ugra simply means a certain seriousness. Ugra means ruthlessness, no nonsense, no excuses. At there, any concept comes, it will just kill Bhairava. That time you try to tell, this is my God, that is your, it will just kill that. Because you cannot go to beyond the time until you have any concept left in you. That is the tattva of Kala Bhairava. Bhairava means that, but how do you project it? You're still stuck in those concepts. And it's not concept. Somebody tried to describe that frequency of awareness which is ruthless, and they gave a name to it, and see what we have done with that name. So what we are looking here as you develop, those who are ripening and able to understand, those who are not, you continue whatever uh, suits you, whichever concept suits you, go ahead. In time, as chitta shuddhi happens, you will realize what is the truth from within only. But if the time has come and if you're able to realize it, then catch no concept. If you want Bhairava in your life, be ruthless. When you say Udyamo Bhairava, when you call upon and when you have that flash of awareness within you, when you raise that, there are two ways to see it. Udyamo Bhairava. I awaken my Bhairava. Still a egoic form because I exist. I am awakening my inner Bhairava. Okay, good. Still an advanced form of Udyamo Bhairava, awakening. But the original meaning is I awaken myself because I am Bhairav. Shiva, when he is remembering himself, he is awakening himself. Udyama Bhairav. He's talking to himself. Are you getting it? So when Shiva is remembering, Pratibhignya Hridayam, Pratibhignya it is called, the recognition when Shiva is slowly waking out of the slumber and becoming aware, I am only Shiva. That is you, the forgotten Shiva. So when you awaken, means Shiva is awakening himself because he took these forms to have an extended experience. But now when he's returning back, retracting back, he gets glimpses of his own memory, that he starts knowing that my true state is this. And because one knows this is my true state, that is why one is compelled again and again to go to that state. You start pulling yourself back into that state. So you who feel that you are doing it, you are none other than Shiva itself. That is the highest meaning of Udyamo Bhairav. I, the Shiva only, am remembering myself and awakening myself. If you can get what I say, fine. If you do not get, don't get too complicated. Go in the objective way only. Udyamo, let me awaken the Shiva within. No problem. Bhairava within. No problem. But slowly, eventually, you'll start realizing the one who is awakening also is Shiva himself. That is where the real crux, the real nectar of your whole efforts in spirituality will blossom. It will be worth it. So we are actually striving to realize this aspect within us. So what did I connect with? What I'm trying to say here is every organs, every chakras. Why Shiva says, do not be interested in the nadis and in the chakras and the Devi Devata sitting in those chakras. Why does he say that? Only because of this. Because they are all just vibrational frequencies of different frequency, but somebody has named it as Ganesha and all those names. In every chakra, you'll have a main deity, presiding deity, and then you have multiple petals and the other adjourning deities. So those deities are nothing but frequencies. So when you cannot understand this frequency, a name has been given to it. Now you start worshipping those deities. Means you're actually attuning to that frequency. Are you getting it? You're attuning to that frequency through an external connection of worship or whatever you call it. So that also works. So whenever you're doing puja on a certain element or a certain god, that's god has a certain frequency. For example, if you're worshipping Lakshmi, you are worshipping the vibration and frequency of abundance. Are you getting it? But you simply are not the Brant Buddhi. Buddhi is not developed. So I cannot understand that frequency. What I understand is what I see. So I have given it a name and form. Now I start connecting with that, giving it respect and becoming one with that, trying to appease it, trying to settle down my ego to that vibrational frequency through external form of worship. So repeatedly, when I do that, I start aligning with that energy, and the benefits of that energy starts coming. When I'm in frequency, that perfect frequency of that God frequency of abundance, abundance flows into my life. Scientifically, either you sit and people of awareness create and align, not create, align back to the normalcy of those frequencies of abundance, of power, of your capability of creation and destruction, then you master and you become gods. That's it. You master this science, you become God, because even God created this, right? He has a technology, he has a science. There's a science behind the creation, sustenance, and destruction. So when you learn the science of creation, sustenance, and destruction, you become God itself, isn't that? So that is why this phrase of I am the creator of my own destiny comes from. Because if Shiva is the creator of the destiny, if Shiva, he has created it, and I am the child of Shiva, obviously I'm going to have that trait, right? I create my own destiny. I create my own experiences. So I'm the creator. If you see clearly, I am the creator of my life. I create my life. I sustain and maintain my life, and I finish my life. That is every Jiva's life experience. I create it through my desires. And then I keep around running with the ego to maintain the ego. That is called sustenance. And when I'm done with the life, I've understood the whole life that this is this game. Then I work towards destroying that ego, aham vritti, which is called who am I, self inquiry, and you dissolve that ego. So you only have destroyed yourself. You started in the start to have an experience, and from then till now, multiple thousands and millions of janmas, you are going on maintaining yourself. And finally, when you have understood the whole thing, now you are moving towards that spirituality and dissolving yourself. Aren't you God? So anyway you put it, you'll get back into the subjective frame itself, the universal truth. Ultimately, it's a holographic effect. You treat yourself as God, you'll see that exactly what God is doing, you are doing here also. Exactly, it will be a mirror reflection of everything, all the tattvas. So we are mini gods. That is why that post, we are gods with amnesia. We are gods with forgetfulness. Memory is lapsed. And that is what exactly Shiva Sutra is telling, that we all are nothing but Shiva, but forgotten Shivas. We have forgotten ourselves because the ego has become more. So the Shiva consciousness enters the ego consciousness, and ego consciousness blooms. Shiva consciousness goes very less. So we live in now imagining I'm the ego consciousness, I am so and so. But there is one dot of that which is reduced, that is Shiva consciousness. That only you call as Atman. That which is reduced to a small flame, that only you are chasing and telling Atma is within, it is a flame, Angusht Matra, and all those things. Conceptualizing it again. So in whichever way you see, we have to understand this secret. If you understand this dynamism of spirituality, spirituality is easy. You will see there is nothing much to do there. If you don't understand this, then you will sit meditating on this and that and all those things. Or you will have hundreds of meditation. Now, from this point, subjectively, you understand what is there. Nothing to do. Your whole attempt will be to just be more and more aware, because awareness is your goal. Awareness is your original frequency. So if you tune more and more and become more and more conscious and aware, there is nothing to do. That is what I said in Sunday webinar. There are two objectives. We'll do both, and we did both. 80% we did objective, because I know we understand that. No problem. So we forgive, we deal, when all these karmic debts and all this, where these are all terminologies that landed up later. Karma and all these things also were deeply conceptualized later, and it got too much. So now what has happened? Objectively, you only focus on karma and all the concepts. So today, if you ask me, as on date, spirituality is nothing but a box full of concepts, all different types of concepts. And the more you get into those concepts, the more confusing you are. Why people change path? I don't like this path, I'll go to that path. I don't like this religion, I'll go to that religion. What are they doing? They're only changing boxes of concepts. They're only telling, this concepts I don't like, but this concept is entertaining. Let me go there. The day you understand this is also concept, that is all concept, you will lose your interest in all religions, in all spirituality, all paths, all communities. You'll simply lose interest, because you have understood what it's all about. Concepts and concepts and concepts and concepts. So the day you become disinterested in concepts, you will become disinterested in the paths. That's how it is. You cannot force yourself out of this. You have to see. And that happens by grace. If you have the grace to see that, that is called as Ishwar Kripa, which is nothing but your own Kripa, your own remembering. You have come to the state of remembering it little more deeper of who you are. So when you're in that kind of frame of evolution, the truths will start coming into you. All these truths which is coming to you, it's only when we deserve it, when we are ready for it. Because if you are not ready, why would so many people sit here to listen to this? Sitting and listening itself is the point of, where your acceptance is there. You're accepting certain things, and now you're interested to not just take this as a philosophy, but you want to experience it. And that is why we have so many webinars and retreats. There is a place where you experience what you learn. It's a place where you attune yourself to that, so disciplined, 5 hours, 6 hours, that we cannot get here. Daily life. Now, how many are sitting here? You might be tired, you might be sleepy, you might be having work tomorrow. There's so many things in life going on. You cannot be focused. That is why we keep it on Sundays. It's a holiday where you can take time off of everything and prepare yourself. And then once everybody comes into a certain way of consciousness, then when these are practiced, it's easier. So that's a commitment that we do. So please understand all these things, what you are calling, what Shiva is trying to explain in Devika. He has not given this depth explanation, but this is what it means. He has just given, give up your focuses on the chakras and the deities. The deities, including Vinayaka, he says. Okay, he is only saying, including Vinayaka sitting in the Muladhara. Because that Muladhara, the presiding deity, is a certain state of consciousness. If you go there, that is an obstacle-less frequency. So that obstacle-less frequency is what you call as Vignahar. Are you getting it? You get different names. The giving names is not a problem, but When you see only the names and not see the secret behind it, then you get into all kind of idol worships and blind beliefs and superstitions, and then there is no end to it. It's only mythology and mythology and mythology and only beliefs, beliefs, beliefs. Nothing deeper than that. That is why people like Osho and all said, explore your beliefs. So जानने से कुछ मत, मानने से कुछ मत रहो, जानो, जिस चीज को मान रहे हो उसको जानो, जानने के बाद मान. So that's what we are saying here. We are not talking to anybody that uh, throw away all the gods. No way. Look beyond the gods, we are saying. Explore the gods. Explore those frequencies by personal experience. So if you want to experience, that is why, see, you can see when people worship Kali, you'll see a certain power comes into them. Have you noticed this? Certain kind of power comes. They become ugra, then they become wild, and they become crazy, and they become so full of power. Why? Because they are simply attuning to the frequency of power through external practices. They are connecting to that vibration. But the problem is when you go through ego consciousness and get a touch of that power, then that's a blended. It is not a purified form of that power. It has a mixture of ego and power. That is why it can cause harm. It is not the purified form. If somebody, if let's say I have I have a lot of selfish desires, I have selfish motives, and then I sit attuning to a certain frequency of power, then the power will come, but it will that power will be contaminated by my selfish desires. So it is a mixture of power plus selfish desire. Then I'll use that power for my selfish needs. Are you getting it? So I don't personally feel that's a purified form of power externally when you do, especially when I have not cleansed myself and I'm doing connecting to that vibrations. That is why people even take those powers and misuse it. Who's the misuser? The abuser, the person which is not purified yet, that tattva, that uses that power, misuse. And here we are, what we are talking about. That is why you see all these great Mahatmas who have purified themselves and then are contemplating on that power becomes absolutely pure and still, like Ramana, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. See Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Do you see him Ugra anytime? You look at the practitioners of Kali, how Ugra, they look so dangerous. They look so frightening. Why? Because there is a mixture. It's not in the purified. Look at Ramakrishna. You'll never feel scared. But he's a full-blown Jagrat Kali Tattva. Can you feel scared? You'll never feel scared. You'll feel divine. You'll feel, in fact, if you think of him, you'll feel more peaceful to think of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. How people must have sat beside him, even though he is in those states. In utter peace, I'm sure. Because he's radiating only utter peace. And what is he? Kali. And what do we know about Kali? Whatever we know is an impure version because there is a tattva of my ego that is mixed in it. I have my vested interest in that. So that contaminates. This is how I see things. This I've not read anywhere. These are my personal experiences from where I'm perceiving these things very clearly. Why and how people project it in this manner. So if I have vested interest and not really purified ego tattva in me, and I attune with Lakshmi or Mahalakshmi, the tattva of abundance, I can get wealth and I can misuse it. Simple. But you look at all the avadhus, you look at all the mystics, they are abundant in themselves, but kangal dikhenge, fakir dikhenge. You look at their external, they will be fakir, but internally they are abundant. If they sit there and just radiate, they can create kingdoms. That is why you go to some places, Kshetra, like you go to Ganesh Puri and all that. You go to any places where these Mahatmas have been there. Once upon a time, they sat there with a loincloth. You go to Ramana Maharshi's ashram. कंगाल लोग हैं, फकीर लोग बाहर से. Abundant attracts. It just brings abundance there. Even in the most, बोलते हैं ना, कंगाल place. So what is that? Purified personality, when it attunes with abundance, it will create this kind of abundance, which will not create anybody's loss. And that abundance you can see. It's flowing even till today. You go to Ramana's ashrams, you can see this. You will not sense anything that is misplaced there. You can see the food that is served there in the Annakshetra, for the people, inmates and all that. And you can see the food that is served at the gates. राजा से लेके भिखारी तक सब खाते हैं, अवधूत तक. Politicians come there. Tamil Nadu politicians, celebrities come there. They eat from that same food. You'll see a beggar also on the streets. He's eating food there. You'll see a robber also eating food there. You'll see a saint, Mahatma, yogis eating food there. You'll see even Topiamma and Avadhuts eating there. What is this? Abundance, pure abundance. The flow of abundance from where top to bottom everybody is eating. You can see this. You can perceive it very clearly. You'll not find the same everywhere. You go to different places, you will see different kind of services going on there. Certain category of people will be there, or it will be only pure, or it will be only poor, or it will be only the higher. But you will never see this undivided kind of service going on and see the quality of food. Even right now, when I go to Ramana Ashram, even today I eat, I cannot sense even one day somebody has paid a little lack of attention. कहीं नमक कम हुआ, कहीं तीखा कम हुआ. Perfect till date. Anytime, any food you, and lavish food, free of cost. Ashram doesn't take donations. You can give, but it doesn't force. It doesn't have donation boxes. 17 भी ये करो. There is no force on anybody. Ramana Ashram jaisa, see that place, they have huge places for accommodations. The only thing, you have to apply 3 months, 4 months in advance, and only if approved, that too not more than 3 days. And once you get that room, then 6 months you cannot apply. All those conditions are there. But the beauty of it is everything is free. And obviously they have to handle it that way. And all the rooms, if you see, are spick and clean like a beautiful hotel. How do they do it? This is service. Purity of that tattva called Ramana, vibrating even today. You can see all those things. So you need to experience these things, and you'll understand it. One is you attune into power and you get those things, and you'll see a mixture of this ego consciousness in that, and that accordingly will change the whole situation. That is why I'm saying these frequencies, what we are talking about, objectively, if you do, it always risks impurity. Because objective means I is there and someone is there, and then this apara bhakti or bhed bhakti, which is I explained many times as swarth bhakti. Whenever there is two, there will be swarth bhakti. Swarth means impurity. So the moment I attune to it, and even if I achieve that, your so-called siddhis, that siddhis will be polluted with this aham vritti. That is why you see there is, when people get siddhis, when they externally connect to these frequencies, they get power. And that power can be seen to be demonstrated, to be utilized in a certain way for self needs. That is coming from that vritti of I and my swartha, by which I connected to that frequency and then attuned it and achieved that siddhi. Now I'm using it for my purpose. But the one who doesn't have the Amvriti, who doesn't care for these things, and is simply connected with the universal kind of energies, including the Siddhi energies, that Siddhis also will come to that person, but that person is least bothered for it. Doesn't use it for any needs. Why? Because that Amvriti is not there only, that need is not there to use it. So if it is not there, they will simply be radiating. What they speak, what they do might just keep on manifesting out their powers, but they are not bothered. No swarth at all. That is why Ramakrishna had cancer. They said, just pray to the mother. She will heal you. She is good. You tell anything, you do anything, everything happens here. So powerful. So that divine mother, by which so many people have been cured by you, your presence, your mother is there in you. How can that not heal you? People are not understanding. They begged literally Ramakrishna, please pray to the mother. And he says, mother's wish. See, itna swarth hai. Swayam ke baare mein. The self, there is no thought only, but they will pray for others. Manifest. So people are confused. Hey, you prayed for me, it happened. How come you are not getting healed? They don't have that. अहम वृत्ति नहीं है कि मेरे लिए कुछ करूं. Ramana also same. That Bhagwan, please heal your disease. And you know what Ramana said? This body only is a disease. That's their, amazing kind of selfless attitude. There's nothing to do. Absolutely, there is no sense of doership only कि अपने लिए मैं एक कदम भी उठाऊं. अपने लिए जीऊं है ही नहीं. If I exist, let me exist for others. And if that is not, let divine will be done. The day it feels it, yeah, means no free will at all. That is called the utmost purified level state. So if you have to understand this purity and all, you have to meditate on these kind of tattvas and it will be revealed to you. God will reveal to you. That consciousness will reveal to you through your external things only. What you see in this world only, it will reveal the secrets. You have to pay attention, that's all. So there is nothing called this God, that God for Ramana, for Nityananda. Nothing called multiple gods and this and that. Nothing. They never spoke about gods also. Even when they spoke also, it is for them, for those benefit of those people. Like I am saying right now, right? Or if you feel ritual is there, certain worship is there, you do it. No problem. For your case, you do it. If it is helping you. So there it is understood. Oh, you like that? Okay, fine. Let me help you do that. So if I see sometimes people are there stuck in that havan and I want to do it in the best way, so we guide them. Okay, you want to? Just now, two children had come here from 7:45 till 9, 5 minutes to 9. They were sitting here only because of the session. They got appointment. 21-year-old and 22-year-old. They are all kids. Seeing me from long time, they come. Sometimes they come and sit. So they come and young boys. They keep discussing these things only. So I was basically talking to them about these things, and they are more interested. So the world is awakening, and they are basically Shiva Bhaktas. Before Corona, I met them. They were very keen on. They used to talk to me that time also, and they used to say they used to talk about Mahabharata, Ramayana, and their feelings with Shivalinga. So this kid was just like 18 years old. He used to go and sit near the Shivalinga all the time. Crazy behind the Shivalinga. There's one Shivalinga here. And that time also, I used to tell him the same thing. He used to not understand. Now he understands. So I'm guiding them, whatever they want. So I said, okay, you love the Shivlinga, do it in this manner. But how to do it? Do it in this manner. And they will go on do it. So we have to guide people according to what they can understand, but there is something beyond it. So today he is understanding. So today he understands, he has come to Shiv Manas Puja. He does everything internally. Previously he was mad behind external, mandir and all those things. Now he's settled down. His understanding is within. So I told him there is one more step after that. Within is intermediate. First is external. You say God is in that Shivlinga. Second step is you say God is within me. Third step is I am God. There is no within me. You are only that. There is no two. So he couldn't understand. I said, don't worry. Just like it took time for you to understand this, when the time comes, you'll understand. Right now, just continue with the Shiv Manas Puja. Okay, so today what we talked was about the concepts of frequencies, of God frequencies, different frequencies that comes in so many different forms, and why we have attraction towards it, why we are seeking. We have attraction because we want this, greed or fear. So we connect to multiple different types of gods and deities and places depending on our desires. So if I have affinity towards a certain tattva, you can just understand the nature of people by the gods they worship and the way they worship. Just if you observe, you'll come to know what is their prakriti, what are their likes and dislikes, and the way they worship it. In the most grossest form or in the subtlest form, you'll understand it. So what we are trying to tell is what Devi Kalotra Shiva explained about chakras and the devatas in it. What he means is this only. It's a certain frequency. And yes, if you can catch that frequency, you don't need the gods and deities because you are just attuning your vibration to that vibration and getting that. But that is still lower. Okay. Because you are stuck in which forms? You're stuck in these multiple different energies of different frequency. This power frequency, this love frequency, this manifestation frequency, whatever you generate, the wealth frequency, the abundance frequency, the health frequency. These are all tukde, 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 tukde. What we are talking is this will stop. This will stop when your desires stop. I want to be the healthiest person. I want to be the wealthiest person. I want to be this. I want to be that. Then your attuning with these frequencies also will stop. Not worship, but you're meditating on these tattvas also will stop. Then you'll only go to the mother source of everything, from where the whole energy comes. And that is the chiti, the vibrationary form. When you go to that level, then you are not interested in these lower levels because the mother is sitting here, right? I remember my guru telling this very clearly in one of the Sri Vidya workshops that he used to take. He used to only tell that, now since you are worshipping Lalitamba, no need to worship any other gods. Don't run behind gods and deities, he used to tell. Because Ma Lalita Parmeshwari is what? Lalitamba is who? She's the mother of all these energies. So you don't have to worship now all these. Who worship the lower energies? Those who do not have a catch on the mother. They go for the lower ones. So when you have the mother, you don't need this. And when you focus on mother, you are on the vibrationary frequency, on the highest vibration that has been created. But then with that mother, with that vibration, there is light. That is Shiva. So when your attention moves from the vibration towards the light, you are moving to the Shiva Sattva. So it is through vibration you can experience the light. That is why we say through Shakti only you can experience Shiva. Simple. So once you catch the mother, then the next step is to catch the father. Through the mother, you go to the father. Are you understanding this? My Gurudev used to tell this, that he was constantly on the mother. And then a divine intent through some manifestation came and conveyed the message to him. This is not enough. You need to proceed to the father, Shiva. That's the light form. Because it is still incomplete. Completion is there. So that light form, what we are talking about, is that format, that consciousness, that Shiva consciousness, which is still in the subtlest form. It is there. It is existent in some form. It's not yet formless. But the closest and highest, purest form is light. So the last thing that you'll ever catch of God will be light. Last thing. If you come down, there are many gods, goddesses, and many, many things. You go to the highest, you'll get the vibration, that's the chiti, and you go into depth of that, you'll see it's light, Shiva consciousness. And if you transcend it, light, lightless space, that is nothingness, Mahashunya, Chidakasha, that is the formless. That is called the Parabhairava state. So our journey is to reach till the Parabhairava. Even if you have knowledge about it, it's okay. But our experiences should be to transcend. That's why I'm telling. Today, somebody asked one question. You can see one question can give rise to a whole satsang. One question. I didn't see light. That is what today's whole satsang is about. It can revolve. See the depth I'm telling. One question has a depth of that. So I don't see light. It is not about this. Now, when you understand this whole structure, light and lightlessness, so you can see, you can understand where are you on the journey. You can see on the vibratory level, where am I stuck yet? You'll see if you're too much into forms and vibrations of those forms, you will not get a glimpse of light. To get a glimpse of light, your concepts have to keep on eradicating. How many concepts you destroy, you'll easily get into light as much as possible. It's upon you. Okay, so I'm not saying from today start practicing and then become light, you give up. You see wherever you give completions. Because if you feel yet connected to these tattvas, lower ones, you give it a completion. Go slowly. There's no, but I'm telling you what lies beyond, something beyond it, so that your journey must not stop there. Thinking this form is everything, this path is everything, this tattva is everything, this teaching is everything. No, you have to go beyond teachings. That is silence. So right now we need noise. This is all noise. Satsang is all noise. Need it. We cannot deny it. We cannot pretend, oh, silence is the highest form. So we'll sit for 2 hours, silent satsang. We'll on and off. On at 9 o'clock and off at 11 o'clock p.m. Awning time, I might see full attendance. By the time I off, maybe there are 2, 3 people left because we need noise. So if we need noise, we appreciate it. Let's have noise. But we are not forgetting there is a zone of noiselessness. To go to noiselessness, to silence, you need to create noise. So this noise is known as sound. Bhai Rava. Rava means sound. Bhai means beyond. Bhairava means beyond the sound. So Bhairava Tattva actually takes you beyond the noise. It takes you to silence. So we have a couple of sessions here where we do on silence, where I said my words are there. In between my words is silence. There is where the Parabhairava state is. So wherever the noise is, that is the noise of the Chiti, ego. So you see between the ego, there are always gaps. That if you catch, you are catching the light between the vibrations. What is this? Spandan. Voice, words are spandan. But in the spandan, there are gaps. That is Shiva hidden there. You can see Shiva and Shakti going together. The light and sound. So in the sound is hidden Shiva. If you focus on Shiva Tattva, the sound will go down, the Bhairavi will go down, the Bhairava will stand up, and you will attain Shivatva. As simple as that. But again, I'm telling, do not pretend. Without reaching those states, do not pretend that I love only silence. That's hoax. Because if you're really silent, you will never sit for satsangs. Satsangs means you love noise. Let us have the humility to accept it. I love noise. That is why I sit here. And I listen to the noise. Because listening to the noise leads me to noiselessness. Then you are in the right frame of mind. You are using the tool of noise to go to noiseless. That should be the right attitude. Not pretending, I don't need noise. Then why are you here? You are here because you like noise. You are here because that noise only puts you to noiselessness. Why are you making efforts if you say? I don't need any practices. Then still, why are you running around? Because you know effort only will lead you to effortless. So respect the effort, respect the noise, and the humility. That is a balance. So pretending means I don't need this. Galat hai. Any other questions? Okay. Messages are here. Please explain II state mentioned in the, no, this will not in the regular practices. We'll do it in contemplative practice, II and all that. And I believe II and all is webinars. That's not the, this is not the state of mind. यहाँ पे casual होता है थोड़ा. Intellectually, we are very high intense here. What is the cause of drug addiction? No doubt you have explained it very beautiful way. Things are so okay. Drug addiction and all way. Maybe some other time we'll learn because this today's I feel is a very sacred kind of a understanding what we did today's satsang. It's very deep. So I don't want to deviate from this topic. Let you reverberate, let you contemplate only on what you focused on today. A nice question was asked. So thanks to all the questions, because that is how even the divine teaches us. Even the questioner is the divine work. Somebody asking a question, somebody seeking. See, on the very high spiritual aspects, it is very funny where many saints also are teased in this. Many saints are teased when they start talking. I won't take names. You must have seen some reels and all that where some mystic is saying the the I in you is talking to the I in me, and the I is and all those things, and you feel it's very funny. It's not funny. It's very true. Very true. So it's like there is a questioner asking a question and there is somebody answering. But if you go on the deeper level, Shiva is having entertainment by becoming the questioner, asking a question, and this side coming and giving an answer, and at the same time watching as a third person having this. It's a beautiful blend. This whole, that is why it is called as a play of consciousness. It's just an entertainment play where one tattva only is becoming this and that. Today I saw, today or yesterday I saw a nice image of Adam and Eve, beautifully projected. It was a cartoon where there's a tree, and you know the story of Adam and Eve is that God says, you can do anything you want in this garden, but don't eat the fruit of this tree, apple or whatever. And then the Bible says a serpent comes, a snake comes and tells Eve, eat this fruit. First it says no, then it falls into temptation, it eats. When it eats, its eyes open. They are both naked, and but both are blind, Adam and Eve. And they are having very beautiful time. And this is called the Garden of Eden. इसी को हम बोलते हैं the param sthiti, the paradise, what we call as Jannat. That is explained as heavens. So here it says they were blissful. Adam and Eve, male and female, were blissful, but they were blind. They couldn't see anything. And God said, you can have gala time in this galaxy, in this garden, but only one thing, don't eat the fruit of this tree. That's all. So they had a great time. But one day, a serpent came, Naga, and it spoke to Eve, the girl. Hey, eat this fruit. He said, no, I'm forbidden. And you don't know the sweetness of this. So beautiful it is. You must taste it. You taste it once and you will understand. It will give you immortal life. So first she says no, and slowly she gets tempted. What must be, and why must God have told not to eat this? There must be something in it. So she takes and eats it. The moment she eats it, eyes opens. She can see everything. And she says, miracle. I can see everything. And she takes it to her husband and says, you also eat. And he also eat. And both see each other. The first thing that they see each other, they're nude. They go and hide themselves. They become aware of their body. So they hide themselves. And that time God appears. I had told you not to eat this fruit. You have eaten. Now I throw you out of this kingdom. You don't deserve this paradise anymore. Get out from here. And that is how the Bible says Adam and Eve were sent down to earth. And from there, a different journey began in the human consciousness. Actually, it is the same thing what we are talking. Yin and yang, male and female, all the same thing. Blindness simply means indriyas. When you are blind, when you don't see, when you don't feel, today what we talk, Panchindriyas, you are in bliss Satchidananda. That's what he said. You have a blissful place here, but don't eat that. Eating means what? Ego. The moment, and the serpent is what? Kundalini. It comes down from the tree. The Kundalini snake, Adogati. It's symbolism. And it gives the fruit of a lower desire. Come into samsara. And she gets tempted and she eats. The moment she eats, eyes open. Eyes open means what? खुल गया ना. अमृत इन समाधि आईज आर क्लोज. आईज खुल गया. आईज जैसे खुल गया, माया ही दिखा. शरीर बोध हुआ. They went and hid body conscious. See how deep Bible is. And they make fun of these stories. Yeah, what snake came, God told it, sin they kicked out. ये mythology में ये problem होता है if you don't understand. And then they were sent away from that as a punishment. They say so. We are punished, like we have come here and we are having a cursed kind of existence, sukha dukha and all those things. But when we were in that, whatever you call Ram Rajya or the kingdom of heaven, we were in Paramananda sthiti. So what I was trying to tell is this story. I saw somebody very beautifully. One tree is there, and Adam and Eve is there, and one snake is there, and it's telling eat this apple from one side. And on one side there is this God only. Behind that projection, God only is put a mask of snake. He has put a costume of snake, and from this side he's showing an apple, and from this side he's the God telling, don't do it. And from this side he's giving the temptation. See how brilliant. Shiva having a play with himself. He only becomes this, he only becomes that. Are you getting the whole thing? So the questioner is his play. He chose to become that. The answerer also is his play. He chose to become this. There's a play going on. And there is a whole thing about Devi Kalotra and these texts between Samvad between Shiva and Parvati. Nothing. That's play of consciousness. Where from the Nirakara, these two separate and they take two different identities and they're playing with each other. And from there down, the whole Shrishti. So that's very interesting if you see it in that manner. Ego is coming from desire. Then where is this desire coming from? How to eliminate ego? This we have discussed in that form of the subtleness of the desire which is hidden in that nothingness. As I tell, when you say nothingness, it doesn't mean there is nothing. There is everything in that nothing. So there are chances of this vibration always standing up from that nothingness. See, you explain it even in this your sleep, your samadhi. Samadhi is there. It's a good experience of nullness, nothingness, but not for long, right? It again starts with one vibration and you wake up in the morning. But before that, you are completely at peace. Death is like that. Samadhi is like that. Same experiences. So in that nothingness also, there is that somethingness. So till that somethingness, that tattva is that vibration is that vibration putting to an end is all the spirituality about that we are trying to explain so many different ways. And that vibration only we are telling about these desires and all those things. You can see in Shiva Sutras, or you can see even in the Bibles and all that, where they're trying to explain there was nothing. Even in Sri Vidya, if you see, it was explained by Gurudev once. There was nothingness, or fir ek ichha hui. One ichha and fir spandan hui. Spandan is that explosion, what is your call a Big Bang theory. Due to that hidden desires latent in that nothingness, in that darkness, there is everything. That is why that darkness and nothingness represents Mahakali. Mahakal, Mahakali. Mahakali is that empty space which devours everything. Devours everything means that everything goes into that and it becomes dark. Like, for example, this room is full of objects. These are objects, the things. These are all objects you can see. If I put off the light right now, it will become black screen. So if it is black screen, that is nothingness. But does it mean I don't exist in the black? That's what the whole thing is about. In that nothingness also, everything exists. That is why we are scared of that nothingness. Mahakali is very fearsome to us. Fearsome because we do not know what is there beyond. Dark means I do not know. There is something, but I do not know. So these are all representations of the mind. Okay, so today we had a little deeper understanding of the soul tattva. I think in today's episode, I'll put it on YouTube. It's a good thing, people to know, people to understand these things better. So need not ask for recordings anyways. It will come up on YouTube. You can see it from there. You can share it with people, whoever feels they would need it, understand it. If you are having difficulty in making people understand things, if they ask, okay, don't go and force it to everybody. Listen, this is the truth. If people are confused, if they are stuck somewhere and all, these kind of videos will help them to show them clarity where they are stuck. And then you can guide them also with your experiences, with how what you do with this. You have experimented with this. So you have only where you have experimented and experienced, you have the authority to talk. Okay, without experience, don't talk. If you don't understand certain things, pravachan mein dena, you can divert them. You go to that satsang place and you will understand it. Ask dearly, clearly from there, whatever has to come, because you will get stuck. If you give gyan and some people ask you twisted questions, you will get stuck, and then you might end up giving wrong information also, thinking it is right, half baked information. But when you share these things and you have certain experience, you can always tell them, yes, from my point of view, I have experimented and this is what I have experienced. I can relate to these truths. That is very valid. Okay, so it will help a lot of. This is how you can spread the whole thing until you become stabilized. Once you have fully stabilized, once you are completely free, once you are completely liberal, once you are illuminated, then you can always share it with others. That's the meaning of Jyot Se Jo Jaga. But until then, be little careful so that you don't cause more problems. Sometimes in the urge to help others, you might deviate them from the path. You'll not know. In the enthusiasm to tell something, they might. So don't get into all those complications. Don't complicate others also. Make it simplified for them. Okay? And if any questions on things like this are there are regular these clarity sessions. You can always join here. So those people who are watching it from YouTube, you can always join it on shiftingintoawareness.com/join. You can be a direct part of these experiences here also. Okay. So I think today again 11 o'clock sharp we'll close today's session. Any questions, anything, you can keep it for next day or next whenever we do it, and we'll address from there. Thank you for being here, because of which satsangs are possible. Interaction is from both sides. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Stay blessed. Bye.